Hey, good morning YouTube. Welcome back to the shop. Today we got something a little bit different. Today we're going to be working on my pickup truck, but first I just want to give you a little update on the trailer here. We had some significant weather over the past week and a couple rain showers. I had to put the sign back over the trailer to cover the hatch, but the fiberglass is starting to harden up, so I'm going to turn the camera around and give you a look and see what's going on. I haven't pulled this cover off. I would imagine it's probably stuck, so you're going to find out with me. All right, so let's see if we can get this off of here. Oh, this metal is stuck to. Oh boy, that's still like soft and slightly sticky. Oh man. Oh, this thing's gonna need some serious love. Yeah, that's a lot of water on the bottom of that. Okay, here we go. For the big reveal. This thing's probably stuck. Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh man. Yeah, it's all stuck to the bottom here. Yeah, it's like still goopy. Oh man. Now this stuff over here, yeah, it's still goopy too. I thought it was set up more than that. This thing is ruined. I'm gonna have to like scrape all this off here or something. Some water running down. This looks pretty dry though. So I guess overall it's a win there, but this thing's gonna need some serious love. We're gonna have to completely redo this. I don't even know if it's ever gonna set up. Of course, the temperature hasn't been very warm at all. We've been getting down into the 30s at night, and rain off and on, lots of wind. It's been cold. Today is actually like the first nice day we've had in quite a while. Oh well, is what it is. Well, today we're gonna be working on something a little bit different. I'm gonna pull this trailer out of the way, and I'll show you what we got going on. So it's a little bit later in the day here. I told you we were going to be working on a different project today. So today I've got my 2000 F350 right here. This has got the 7.3 diesel in it, and I've been having some fueling issues with it. I had an instance where I pulled up to the gas station to grab some fuel, and the pump I pulled up to, it wasn't working. So I tried to restart the truck, pull it up to the next pump, it wouldn't start. So I was able to actually stretch the fuel pump from the other pump on the opposite side over, and I was able to fuel it up, and once I got past where it said it was a quarter tank, it fired up just fine. So, and mind you, while I was there, I was trying to crank and nothing was happening. So we got a fueling issue. These trucks are known to have some problems with the fuel pickup. There's a couple of inline filters in the fuel pickup. Basically, a fix for that is to eliminate that intake section, the in-tank section, and replace it with a external filter. So I have here is a Baldwin filter with a attachment. You get these off of Amazon. That's where I got this one. I can put the link below, but basically it's just got 1/2-inch ports on it. There's 2 on each side. both in, both out, and it comes with 2 plugs, so you can stack these with additional filters if you wanted. I'm just using a regular fuel filter. It's nothing fancy. They do sell the ones with the stopcock on the bottom of them to be able to drain water off of them. The truck already has a fuel filter, and it's on top of the engine. I'm not going to eliminate it right now. There is a kit actually for these trucks to eliminate that fuel filter, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep that one. But in addition to that, we're also going to change out the fuel pump. This truck has about 370 some odd thousand miles on it, and it's the original fuel pump that's on it. So it's still working as far as I know, and it could potentially be that my problem was just the fuel pump not working. But we're going to replace it anyways. So I went to O'Reilly's and picked up a, what is this, a Master Pro fuel pump. It's like 70 bucks. Then I've got some hose, some 3/8 hose, some brass fittings that we can use for this filter housing. And I got some clamps. And then we're also going to do a modification inside the tank. There's a popular modification to eliminate, like I was saying, all the interior guts of the fuel pickup, eliminating those screens, and just basically putting a solid piece of tubing down towards the bottom of the pump and move it away from where the return is. Another common issue with these trucks is where the return comes down, creates a lot of bubbles, and there's some aeration going on in the fuel. So it's picking up fuel that's got a lot of air in it, and that causes a lot of air bubbles in the system. So we're going to put in a new piece of tubing that's going to come off to the side from the original pickup to get it away from the return, to hopefully eliminate the potential of that having that issue. So yeah, let's tear into it and get after it. Got a couple cans of brake clean too to be able to help clean things up. We got so we've got to drop the tank on this thing. The fuel pump itself is actually mounted into the frame rail, so it's going to be pretty easy to get to. We're going to make a mount for this filter, and we're going to put it up underneath the bed. I got a spot that I think it'll work, so we'll kind of have to play around with that and figure out where. And then I've got the tubing to reroute. So we're going to put this filter before the pump. So the pump on here is just a simple lift pump. These trucks don't need a lot of fuel pressure, since the fuel injectors are driven off of oil pressure. So it's just a really basic fuel pump. It's just a lift pump. So this one filter is not going to cause enough resistance in fuel pressure, or suction I should say, to make a difference. This is a pretty popular thing to do for these trucks, and guys don't have any problems with it. So I don't have any quarrel with that. So that's what we got going on, and let's get into it. So I don't have a concrete pad to work on here. So I've got these rubber mats that I got from Tractor Supply to be able to help me work on top of the dirt here. These are like horse mats. So, you know, right there might be good. Let's grab some tools. All right, so first thing we gotta do is remove this skid plate underneath the fuel tank here. And then it's got 2 big straps, and we should be able to drop this tank. It says in there the fuel gauge only reads less than a quarter tank of fuel, so I tried to run it down as much as I could, best I could, but it is a 32 gallon tank. Anyways, it's probably going to be a good 5 to 10 gallons of fuel in there, thereabouts, so it's still going to be pretty darn heavy. So these bolts that hold them on here, 2 10 millimeters, and then looks like we got another set of 10 millimeters over there. Let's see if we can get these guys first. Kind of tight in here. Millimeter, imagine that. Yep, there it is. You know what I said about that thing crashing down. Come on. This is going to be fun getting the tank out. Suppose we'll have to get the jack in there. Okay, so now we got these 2 straps. Not sure what that is. A weird thing hanging down right there. Let's see. Looks like we got to get them from this side, and they hinge from the outside. Let's see what size those are. 13. Okay, so that's hanging by one strap right now. So I think I'm gonna go get the jack, and we'll get the jack and put it underneath here. Okay, so I got y'all turned around here. So you can see the strap in the back right there with those two, let's see right there, those are the two nuts for the skid plate, and then right there is the other bolt for the other strap, and it comes around just over the leaf spring. There's a little hinge right there. We'll come towards the front of the truck, and you see that there is two right here. This one is actually for the strap itself. It comes with bolts right there, and then this other one was just for the skid plate. We come around on the outside, and we've got a hinge right here. You can kind of see the strap moves around. It kind of hinges off of that. We get the same thing going on underneath the spring hanger right there. So let me go get a jack, and we'll get this thing underneath it. We'll have to undo the fuel neck couplings, both the fill and the vent, to get those hoses out of there, and then we'll drop the tank. So let's do that. Okay, got the jack underneath here. Let's see if we can get this thing raised up high enough. I don't know if it will. We're kind of pretty much centered right there. I guess it will. Okay, I'll keep that snug. Let me go get a screwdriver to undo the fuel neck. Okay, let's see if we can hold the camera and do this at the same time without getting everything in my eyes. Okay, the vent. Alright, those are loose. Okay, let's see if we can pull these guys off here. Oh boy, those are on there good. So let's take this clamp off. This is just to clamp it to the bed. There we go. All loosened up here. Get that clamp down. Let's try this one first. Yeah, that sucker's on there. It is 25 years old. I've never been off. Maybe we got a different screwdriver. Okay, so we got a couple of different lubricants too. Some Kroll and some platinum grade LPS, greaseless lubrication. Sure. See if I can get. Let's see how much this thing can get in my eyes. Just kidding. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the guy's on there. Okay, I'm gonna fight with this guy. I'll pick you back up when I get it off. Okay. Oh yeah. Got it. Woo. That was a fight. Put the clamps on there. There we go. Yeah, that should be good to reuse. Sure. All right. Well, we'll see if I get on the other side and get this other strap off. Okay. All right. Let's get this other strap off here. Yeah, that's right. I'm using a silver socket on an impact. Here we go. Okay. The tank is unstrapped. Let's get that And this is going to pose a little bit of a problem. Might have to take that one off. I'll do on the other side. Oh boy. Yeah, I might be able to get that one off. Let's see here. Yep, got it. Got it. Okay. This one will be just fine. Well, let's drop this tank down a little bit and see what happens. Okay. So all the fuel is falling to the back. But it'd be really cool if I had 2 jacks. But I don't. That's all I got. Let me get underneath here and see if I can kind of help stabilize it. I've seen those little plastic straps actually handles. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's drop it down. All right. Oh yeah, that's a lot of fuel. The fuel neck's coming down just fine. Looks like wiring might be a little bit of a holdup here. Let's see. There's a plug. Figure out how to get that unplugged with just one hand. Suppose I'd take my watch off. So I'll scrape that. Okay. Yeah, that's. I wonder if the tank will. Yeah, it'll rest there. Okay, I need. Oh. No, I need a screwdriver. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Man, that's just got years of built up ground on there. Dust, dirt, mud, all of it. I can't tell which way that clip is supposed to go. Okay. Okay. Now, should be able to drop the tank down. Hold this up a little bit here. Let this down. Things are happening. Okay. Oh, this is going to be fun to put back up. Okay, we're out. There it is. Boy, this thing is huge. All right. Let's see if I can pull this jack out of here. Yeah. Got it. Okay, so I'm back. Got some tape here. Put these on here. Know which one goes where. All right, we'll label them. There's 1, 1, 2, and 2. There it goes. That one. Put that up there out of the way. Bleeding fuel all over the place. Maybe. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can not make a mess everywhere. All right. Those out of the way. Now, let's get the fuel tank out of here. Okay. The jack out of the way. Let's get this fuel tank out. See if we can squeeze it out of here. Take that out of there. And looking at it, actually, these two lines are different sizes. One's a little bit smaller than the other. So maybe I don't know which one's the return and which one's the pickup. All right, so we got the tank out, and here we go. And it's all of its glory. So we got some vent return here, or a vent here, and then we got the vent line for the fill. We got the fill right here, and then this is a sending unit. We got the wiring for the sending unit itself, the fuel gauge, and then the two different lines right here. This is for the suction and return. So we're gonna have to take this cap off right here. It unscrews. So I'm gonna get some brake clean all that stuff a little bit, make sure we got a pretty good clean environment, wipe it down, and then we'll zip that guy off there. So I'll pick up when I get it all cleaned up. So let's get this guy up here. I got this all kind of cleaned off a little bit. Let's see if this is all, yeah, wishful thinking. Okay, we just got a screwdriver and hammer here, and some light taps. Okay, I think we got it. There it is. Just looks like a big ABS ring. There's some gunk in the threads, but okay. And here we are. Sending unit and all. Yeah, and we, just as I suspected. So this right here, I don't know if you can see this, but this right here is where the pickup, there's like a bell that goes on the end of this, and it's gone. So that answers my problem, why we had issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually extend this line. So this is the pickup right here. We're actually going to extend this line to go away, and the return goes through here, I believe. So we're actually going to eliminate all this plastic piece. There's actually some filters inside of here. We're going to eliminate this whole thing, and we're going to connect it to this. So the larger size port on here is the suction, smaller one's the return. And then of course we got our fuel float. I was a little worried that potentially it was flooded, broken, or cracked, but it doesn't appear. Rusty inside here. We've gotten some water. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but that hard plastic line that holds that bell is just cracked. It broke right off of there. Let's take a look inside the tank. Okay, so you're going to put up with the audio for a minute. My microphone died. So I got this fuel sending unit out, as you saw, and I'm going to look down inside of it, and right there you can see it. That's actually the pickup. Yep, so that fell right off the bottom of the sending unit, just as I suspected. But honestly, the inside of this tank looks pretty darn good. I'm really surprised. I expected to see more junk in there. So the other mod we're going to do is where this fuel fill goes in the tank, it actually protrudes beyond the level of the tank right here, and so you can't actually get this tank full. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim that up, and this side of it too, the pipe comes in. We're going to trim that up as well, and we can get a couple more gallons out of this tank. So let me get after it. Okay, so I was able to get the pickup outside of the tank. So this guy went and attached right here. Doesn't even look like it fits there. So maybe there was a section, might have been a section that goes on here. It's kind of hard to see, but basically it goes right there. Alright, well, got that out. That broke off. That was my issue when I pulled up to the gas pump, why I wasn't able to get any fuel. Now we're going to trim the line that goes in for the fill and the vent. So I just got a pair of PVC cutters. My cutter. There it is. And let's pull out the vent piece as well. Okay, so there you go. That's the vent pieces right here. Oh, I found the missing piece. There it is. There's the piece for the pickup. So this guy, this piece of it attached to the assembly, and then this piece I think attaches to, yeah, it's kind of broken, you can see it. This piece attaches to the actual cone from the pickup. So all that broke off of there. So there's our problem. Okay, well now we are going to figure out, we got to take that sending unit apart, and then we got to figure out how deep down that pickup needs to go in order to get to the bottom, you know, of the tank. So let's get that stuff in the shop and get that all figured out. Okay, so we got the prize here. So here's the missing pieces. Is that little coupling that went onto here and then attached to the bottom. So what we need to do is we need to measure from the bottom of this to the top of this so we can make a new line that goes in between here. So I'm going to tape measure. Okay, so here to there we have two. Get this lined up just right. That's 2 3/8 of an inch. And then we have 12 3/4. So we'll add 3/8. 1, 2, 3. So that's 13. And then, well, no, we're going to do 2 3/8. So 15 1/8. So 15 1/8 is what we need from the top here to the bottom of the pickup. So let's get some material. Okay, we're back. I got some copper tubing here. I hope this is going to be it. This is stuff I had laying around. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Kind of looks like it's the same size. So when I went to the auto parts store, I got this package of couplings. This contains a 1/4 inch, 5/16 and 3/8 couplings. So the idea is we're going to take a coupling from this stainless tubing to the copper tubing. Of course, this comes with all the ferrules. So that's going to be the 1/4, 5/16, and 3/8. Actually, this is the 3/8 here. I don't know if that's going to work. That's not going to work. I got the wrong couplings. Guess I should have paid attention to when it says nylon to steel. Cool. All right, let me figure this out. I'll get back with you. Okay, so this 3/8 tubing looks like it's going to work, but I'm going to have to figure out a different coupling for it because this guy right here is not going to be the correct fitting. So I'll do some digging around. I might have one around here, but nonetheless, in the meantime, I got written down 15 1/8 right here on the workbench of my total length that I need. So let's take this apart. So this is the section, and this is the return right here. The return goes into here, goes through here, and it spits it out on this guy. So what we're going to end up doing is the return is just going to end right here. It's just going to shoot off that way. And then we're going to take this piece, and we're going to, so you kind of understand. So if you can see this clearly enough. But so the return is going to shoot out that way, and then the pickup is actually going to come over here. And of course, it's going to be lower, somewhere right around this point. And that should help keep aeration from screwing up the intake. So let's take this off of here. Actually, first let's cut this off. We don't need it anymore. And we got to be really careful too with this float. I don't want to break it. I get a pair of snips. Boy, that rubber's hard. Okay. That's cut. Looks like that'll come off pretty easy. That came right off of there. Do this. Oh, this pulls right off. Okay. Curious to see what the inside of this looks like. There's some screen mesh filters inside of here. We don't need this anymore, so it's okay if it breaks. It should come apart pretty easy. A little bit. I said the word easy. Oh yeah. Wow. You should be able to see through that mesh. That is nasty. So you can actually replace these. I've seen that you can buy them, but we don't need them. We're doing away with this entirely. There's a bunch of crud inside of there too. I don't know if you can see that or not. Well, it's a good thing we're eliminating all this. Okay. So I'll get a rag here and I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, and then we'll start working on making the piece we need to make. Okay, I'm back. So I did have to run and go get the correct part. So I got a 3/8 union compression fitting. Sucker's $9, man. Anyways, so this guy will fit onto there. And then we're going to take our section of tubing. Just going to straighten this out. So we need a total of 15 1/8. That thing will start the new piece at 10 and, yeah, I guess that's 10 7/8. So 10 minus 10 7/8. So that's how long we need a piece. So that ends up being, so that's 4 1/4 inches of height. But we want to bring it over some. So we'll cut it about 9 1/2 inches, which is about right here. That'll give us no problem. It doesn't have to be exact because we're going to move it. There we go. Ream out the inside. Ream out the inside of the other piece. It might be ideal to use stainless tubing for this if you had it, but this is going to work just fine. Diesel fuel has no coral with copper tubing, so make sure we got all the little bits and pieces out of there. Looks pretty good to me. So we're going to need the bender. I have one laying around here. Let me go find it. Okay, I'm back. Found my bender. So we want to make kind of a, I guess a 45 and then another 45. So I want to go right off that fitting. There's 45. Like that. And then, let's see. Prop that up. And we'll measure. Maybe we'll go more than that. Maybe we'll do a 90. We're going to run out of room here. Okay, there's a 90. So we're at about 13 1/2 inches below, on the bottom of the, so I'm going to come down another 1 1/4 inches or so. So we'll just pick an arbitrary point. We need opposite. So, sure. Line that up the best we can. Make another 90. Let's put this guy on there. Now I'm going to go take this over to the tank, and I'm just going to put it in the tank because we're going to actually see how deep we can go. I would like to keep it like a 1/4 inch off the bottom of the tank. So right here we're at 16 1/2 inches to the bottom of this pickup as it sits. So it's obviously more than we measured here, but if it goes down a little deeper, I'm okay with that. Let me grab some wrenches and we'll tighten this up, and then I'll go take it to the tank. And then if I need to, I can just cut off any excess at the bottom. So let me go do that real quick. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I did just go put it in a tank and it's still sticking out quite a bit. So that sounds about right. So we're gonna we'll go right to the 15 and an eighth mark that we originally had. Just about right there. Now, ideally, we would like to put a cone on the end of this, but I don't have anything to do that with. And I know guys have just done this where they put it ending just the straight tube in there, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, let me give that a shot and see where we're at. Okay, so I'm back. So actually what I did end up doing was I just kind of bent this up a little bit, and let's see, I'm kind of curious where that put us at. Actually, it was a little bit shy. It was like at 14 inches. So it's in there. It's all the way towards the bottom. It's not like sitting flush up against the bottom to where it would create any suction. So I'm happy with that. Go ahead and tighten this guy up for the last time. And I am surprised to see that these fittings actually are standard size fittings. So 9/16 and 5/8 accordingly. I don't want to squash this thing too hard, but I want to make sure it's tight too. You gotta squeeze it tight enough that the ferrules actually squeeze on there. Yeah, we're getting those tight on there. Okay, that one's good. That one's already tight. Okay, give this one a nice snug. That's good. I'm happy with that. Let me just blow some air through it. Okay, here we go. On this float that I have just sitting up here right now, it's because I was taking it in and out of the tank. It's kind of a bear to get this in and the float in. So, okay, that looks good. Well, let's go out and go get this guy installed. You can take these off here actually, because we know which ones are which. Let me clean the top of this off one last time out there too. And this thing, when it goes in there, it indexes itself with a notch in the top of the tank too. And that gasket around there is in good shape. So, okay, here we are. I'm just gonna clean the sealing surface up a little bit. Actually, pretty darn clean. Set this aside. Make sure this is good. We got some brake parts cleaner. Just more concerned about the threads engaging like they should. Make sure that goes on there good. Up above. All right. Like I said, this gasket's in good shape. We got another rag. This gasket's in good shape. And our ceiling surfaces in here look good, so I'm not concerned about replacing any of it. Okay, that's ready. Let's grab our sending unit. And this is where it gets a little tricky, because one thing is wanting to go that way and the other thing is wanting to go this way. So we have to make sure the sending unit drops down in there for the fuel level float. Okay, that dropped down. Like I said, this thing self-indexes. It's got a notch that is right here. There we go. I'll put the ring back on. As I'm moving all around. And we're getting this tightened back on there. There's probably a Ford part tool. If it's on here specifically for techniques. I'm not going to pay $300 for that tool. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so we got the sending unit fixed. We got the new pickup. It's pushed over to the side, so it's picking up from over here, and the return is getting pushed over that way, so that should keep our aeration and our pickup separate. And then we also trimmed the tubing for the fill and for the vent, so it'll allow us to put a little bit more fuel inside this tank. And that was these pieces right here. So got that taken care of. Now what we're going to do is we have to modify the pickup tubing from the tank over to the pump, because we're going to be going through the filter first and then to the pump. The return line will be able to hook up on there the same, but the pickup is going to be different. So that's why I got some 3/8 tubing right here. So we're going to use this for the fuel pickup. And what I want to do is put something inside the other end of this tubing so we don't get any crud inside of this. So let me go find something to plug that with. I'll be right back with you. So I've got this tubing. I put a bolt in the end right here just to keep from anything getting in there on the other end, because I'm working in the dirt. And I picked up 15 feet of tubing, so I don't know how much we're going to end up using. Nonetheless, I also picked up these clamps. So these are not your ordinary clamps. Looks like there's different sizes in here. Just have to get the right sizes. So these clamps are a little different than your regular band clamps. These will hold the pressure around the tubing, around the piece of hose, a little bit better than a standard clamp. And then I'm using a ratchet to be able to tighten them. I'm not a fanatic about using rubber tubing for a fuel line, but it is what it is. It'll do what I need it to do. And I'm actually going to put 2 of them on there. We'll slide that guy on without killing myself. Oh boy, that's pretty tough. It's not even going to make sense to put 2 on. There's not enough room on there anyways. Put a little lubricant on there. That went on much easier now. Okay, now we're going to tighten this up. Perfect. Now we get to put the tank back in the truck. Isn't that exciting? Okay, so we got our electrical, got our new fuel line, and I'll put some new clamps on there when we get them back in. Those are cracked. Yeah, I think that's it. We're ready to put this tank back in. All right, I'll pick up back with you underneath the truck. Okay, here we go. Let's get this back underneath this truck. This thing is not light. It is going to be a struggle. You can hear that fuel flash slushing around in there, but there's a lot of fuel in there. Gonna get this jack back underneath it. I don't know how this is gonna go. It is not gonna be fun. Let's see if I can get on this side of it. I'll just lift it up enough to get the jack underneath. Let's see, it's gotta come this way more. Yeah, let's see, this strap, right about here. Okay. That's about it right there. One thing we gotta do is put this strap back on for this side. These filler neck and vent hoses put back up. And we've got our two, we're only using one of the factory fittings here. And then our electrical. This other fitting we're just gonna tie up for now. So I'm gonna end up capping it. Just start lifting it up a little bit. I think we're a little far back. So let's push it back down. Ooh, I'm not quite strong enough to lift that up at this angle. Oh boy. This is, oh man. I gotta figure out a better solution for this. This is not working. There's some ratchet straps for help. Let's do that. I don't have any ratchet straps handy right now, but with these type of straps, that should work just fine. Oh boy. I'll be losing daylight here pretty soon. Let's see. Cross member should provide plenty of strength. Oh, there's my hat. And this other one, do the same thing. That should help. But two straps around it. Okay, those are both snug. So I can move the jack over. And lift up on the tank a little easier. Look at that. Yeah, now my straps are holding it. Okay. Let the strap hold it. There we go. Yeah, that was the most genius idea I've come up with in a long time. All right. Now that we're suspended dangerously in the air, get the fuel fill hose over the frame, as well as the vent. Okay, those are situated. Our electrical is good. Tubing is situated good. I'm gonna pull this line over this way, and it's gonna follow existing lines, and I'm just gonna strap them down with zip ties. Work just fine. Okay, that looks good. Let's see if we can lift this up a little bit here. Nope. I need the jack to do that. The jack to lift, and the straps to hold. That's the trick. How strong, but not this strong. Okay. All right, now we need to get straps situated. So this one will go there. I want to try and get this back one on there. Let's put this bolt in blindly. I can't see what I'm doing. I can feel it. Do it by braille and dropping stuff in an area that, whoop, there it is. Started. No. I can put it in there, all this dirt. Someday we'll get some concrete. For now, that's what we got. Okay, that one's on there. Okay, so I was finally able to get this up in there. Got that bolt up here. That one tightened. Got the strap around. There's this one. Same thing. Get that bolt right here tightened up. Aided me with these straps that I put up. I just hooked them on the bed right here. This is a cross member for the bed. Went around both sides. Same on that side. That orange one went up there. Well, that kind of shimmied back and forth and was able to finally get it with the assistance of the jack. So tank is up here. So now we got our hose draping down right there that you can see, and we need to run that to the fuel filter, but first we need to get the skid plate put in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll catch up with you guys in just a few. Okay, here we go. Skid plate. Oh, my arm doesn't fit there. Doing that. It doesn't fit every time. Oh, come on, bolt. Oh boy. Oh, yep. That's what we got this for. Oh, it doesn't freaking fit. Oh man. Well, it started at least. Oh yeah. So we had the ratchet, huh? Okay, well, let's get this on. Okay, so right now I have figured out where I want to put this thing. This is obviously the way that it's going to mount for the filter. And what I've got here is a sheet of 1/8 inch plate steel. The bolt, I have a section on the frame that is about, the holes are 7 inches apart. So I'll make it a little bit wider than 7 inches. And it's going to come off the top of the frame, and then it's going to 90 up. And then where it 90s up is where it's going to connect to. So the frame is going to be right here. Actually, it's going to be the inside of the frame where it's going. So the frame is a C channel. So it's going to be like this. And so we're basically making an L bracket. It's going to go along the top of the frame and then 90 up. and going to connect these 3 bolts. So got a square here, small one. Just going to kind of lay out our measurements. So because our holes are 7 inches apart, we're going to make it about 8 inches long. Just doing some very basic layout with this. This is going to be nothing fancy. 8 inches wide. Our frame width is just over 3 inches, I believe. Whole thing total I need to be about 5 1/4. So there's our 5 1/4 mark. Basic layout, we got to cut this little tail off. There's our plate. We can measure out our holes for our bolts. So since this is 8 inches, it's going to be 7 1/2 and 1/2 inches. That'll give us 7 inches. It's going to 90 on this side. So we're going to make just a very basic template here. So I know that that's where it's going to 90 up. All right, well, I'm going to go get the death wheel and we're going to get this cut out. All right, so we have our basic bracket here. I just cut out using the death wheel angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, and then just finishing up with the flap disc just to smooth out all the edges. So you can see the basic layout. This is basically going to mount right here, and then this, I don't know if you can see that line I put right here. So this is going to be my 90-degree mark, and so this is going to bolt on top of the frame, and then this piece of it is going to 90 up to where this will mount on there. So these marked right here where my holes are going to be for my frame mount part. So let me use the vise. I don't have a brake, a sheet metal brake at all. So I'm just going to use this vise and a hammer, and we'll bend that over. So we'll pick up after that. Okay, here is my simple bracket. I think where we last left off, I was getting ready to bend this right here. So you got a bend on it. So it's going to sit on top of the, actually the frame is like this. So it's going to sit on top of the frame. Oh, if you can see it there. So it's going to sit on top of the frame, and then this will be on the inside of the frame in the middle of the truck. So it'll be kind of more protected, and it sits pretty high up. It's underneath the cab. So it's just a basic bracket, nothing fancy. 5/16 bolts, 5/16 holes. There's actually already holes in the frame that these are going to bolt into. So make it pretty easy. What I am doing though, something a little bit different, and I'm using these carriage bolts right here, and I'm actually going to use the carriage bolts on top. Wherever my other one is, there it is. So the problem is that on top of the frame right here, there's just not a lot of room, and there would be enough room to slide a bolt in through there, and it'd be really difficult to be able to just keep a nut with a wrench or something on it. So what I did was I drilled 5/16 holes, but then I went up a size to 3/8, but I didn't go all the way through with the 3/8. So this carriage bolt will sit in there, and then it should grab a little bit. I'll probably, when I go to put this in, I'll probably pound these in the middle a little bit so they stay. And then I've just got some regular bolts for the bottom to be able to bolt it on, and that should work. So I'll pick back up with you guys later. It's getting late. I'm gonna make dinner, all that good stuff, take care of the family, hang out. So we'll probably pick up again tomorrow. All right.